Bonus video today, not just because we've got this petition going on, which I'd like to share with you, not quite live, but while I'm recording a video, go over 1 million signatures, so I'll keep an eye on that. But also, I saw this tweet here from Keir Starmer regarding the so-called radical reforms next week to, quote, get Britain back to work, paving the way for the biggest overhaul of employment support in memory. They include such things like unfair dismissal from day one, as opposed to the 2-year mandatory wait before you can claim unfair dismissal. And there we go, just over 1 million signatures there. Almost said subscribers then. Freudian slip. 1 million subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel, then maybe I'll get to 1 million subscribers. If 1 million people can sign this petition in 24 hours, I think 1 million people could subscribe to my channel. Probably won't happen, but not in 24 hours at least. It takes a lot more hard work than that. But back to the tweet. So congratulations on everyone that signed that petition for 1 million signatures. Not that it's got any legal binding on government, you understand, but it's certainly an indication to government as to what people think. Now, back to the tweet. As I said, Keir Starmer. Now, on the one hand, I really hope that it's successful. I hope that his plans work out. I hope that it's well thought through and that there's a lot of intelligence that's gone behind it and that it works out great for everybody. I have my doubts, and I'm not the only one, because retail outlets have warned of inevitable job losses and price increases. Now, if we go to a letter here, so this is staring the government directly in the face, literally in black and white, sent to the government, to the Chancellor herself. And this is from the British Retail Consortium, so representing big retail businesses. It says, we're writing to share our significant concern about the impact of the budget on retail industry and the economic consequences for inflation, employment and investment. Retail is in every community and is vital to the socio-economic fabric of the UK. It is the largest private sector employer, with 3 million direct jobs and 2.7 million more in the supply chain, contributing over 100 billion per year. This scale and reach means the industry can be a partner to government, supporting the reinvigoration of high streets, creating jobs all over the country, and supporting government's ambitions for growth. We appreciate the government's focus on improving the fiscal situation and investing in public services. We also recognise the role businesses have in supporting this. But the sheer scale of new costs, which I'll come to in just a moment, it's worth sharing this with you, I promise you. The sheer scale of the new costs and the speed with which they occur create a cumulative burden that will make job losses inevitable. So regardless of what the plans are to improve employment, etc., this is big business telling you in black and white, or telling the government in black and white, that job losses are inevitable. And the icing on the cake is higher prices, a certainty. So prices will go up. Supermarket prices, etc., will go up. Cumulative cost burden. The estimated additional costs rising in 2025 are set out below. The impact of the budget, national insurance contributions threshold change is particularly acute given the retail employs large numbers of people at entry-level and part-time roles. Costs from the budget sit alongside other incoming regulations, including implementation of new packaging levies. New costs. The increase of the rate to 15%, just over £500 million. The threshold change, 1.7 billion. National living wage increase, 2.7 billion. So this is not just one thing here that's having an effect. We'll come back to that in a moment in how it affects schools. Again, it's a cumulative and a compound effect. Packaging levy, 2 billion. The total cumulative cost burden, over £7 billion. Taken together, the retail industry's costs could rise up to £7 billion a year. This will also affect our suppliers, increasing costs that retailers pay for goods and services, and then business rates, and so on, and so on. And this goes on. And this letter reflects the strength of the feeling across the industry. We look forward to meeting you. And signed, and you can see the companies here. Aldi, All Saints, Amazon, Asda, Associated Independent Stores, B&Q, Benson's, etc., etc. All of these companies here signed and represented by this letter, setting out exactly what they think, what their concerns are, which is why I thought it'd be worth sharing it with you here. So this is regardless of what Keir Starmer's plans are, regardless of what the overall plans are to radically reform employment and improve everything. This is a letter from those businesses telling government on all of your behalf, everyone they employ, everyone that buys from their stores, telling the government directly on all of your collective behalf. This is going to affect jobs and it is going to affect prices directly. It is inevitable, and price increases a certainty. Now, this is felt profoundly in private schools because, coming back to those private schools, I believe I read a tweet which I broadly checked was correct, employ more people than a few big retailers combined. Now, this talks of not just the VAT risk, but the short-sightedness here is not limited to the cost, the employer national insurance cost, the business rates, levies, etc., that affect those schools. So as a result of all of the children that have to leave those schools, the government has seemingly overlooked this simple fact that a lot of those pupils will not even be able to continue their GCSEs because the combination of subjects and exam boards can't be found in a local school, regardless of its local and close or not, a local as possible state school. Finding the combination of their subjects to exam boards that they've studied for, you know what it's like. If you're an adult, you went to school and you do English or whatever, you're given certain papers for certain boards and you choose one and you've been studying it and you have to do it with that board. If you suddenly have to move to another school, it's not rocket science to work out that if the other school doesn't do that board, then you can't do the same as what you've been studying. So you risk failing the GCSE completely, and they just cannot accommodate you. And this is aside from the fact that so many of those schools just don't have the spaces regardless. Just before I moved off that screen there, this is a breakdown of some of the worst affected areas. Thousands and thousands of children being pushed out within a matter of 5 years of this VAT policy being introduced. Now, bearing in mind these schools are not just hit by the VAT, but they are also hit by the employer national insurance, and they are also hit by the removal of the business rates relief, which some schools are paying hundreds of thousands of pounds per year, which is why some of them just have to close, and then those children have to go elsewhere. All of this extremely, in my humble view, extremely short-sighted, all with a view to spur growth. But from what I understand, it has not had that effect. Growth has sort of ground to a halt, broadly speaking. Again, I'm not an economist. Leave me your thoughts, comments below. But it hasn't had the positive effect thus far that they were hoping and anticipating and promising and telling everyone that's going to happen, which is ultimately why this petition, I believe, has resulted in now, as you've seen while you've been watching my video, over 1 million signatures. And yes, it may not have a legally binding effect on the government. It may not do much at all, in fact. But what it does do is send a clear message that lots of people are disillusioned and simply unhappy with the situation. So, like I said, bonus video. I wanted to share that with you within a video, not quite live, you understand, but live while I was recording the video nonetheless. So I hope you found some of that interesting. Leave me your thoughts and comments below. Do subscribe to my channel. If 1 million of you can sign that petition, a million of you can subscribe here. So please subscribe, get me to 1 million subscribers, and I'll thank you for watching.